Welcome to the CEO Corner. Rishabh Malpani here, and I interview successful entrepreneurs to share their experiences, knowledge, and wisdom based on their entrepreneurial endeavors. In the CEO Corner today, we'll be going over the journey of Alma Globe, who are a major provider of advanced glass protection solutions across a wide range of applications such as windows, solar panels, car windshields, and more. I brought in Mr. Alessandro Bianchi, who is the founder and managing partner of Alma Globe, to share how he initially built trust with clients, the strategies he implemented to grow his consumer base, the measures he took to implement effective after sales service, his early challenges and how he combated them, and more. To start off, could you please tell us a little bit about the motivation behind starting this company?
Hi, Caps. Thanks for the invitation and nice to meet you. So, yes, I'm Alessandro. And to reply to the first question, the main motivation is that I want to build something where I can control my time, my decision, my future. So, actually, as an entrepreneur, to have more freedom to manage my time. That was the first real reason why I start this Alma Globe company, but also another company, Alessandro Bianchi Consultancy. So behind the founder of the company is because I would like to have my freedom to manage my time and do something good for the community. This is the first question for you.
Thank you so much. And I think that makes a lot of sense. It links with something that one of our previous guests has also said. Now, what were the first few steps you took to build your service and get it running into the market?
So yes, as Alma Globe, one is a general trading company, and one of our core business is to sell nanotechnology that have to be applied on the glass. So before I did anything else, I educated myself. So it means that I spent a lot of months to really understand how the glass protection works from a technical level for the chemistry, so different method that was there. And I tried to search and check what was available in the international market. And I found out Diamond Fusion, that is an American patented company technology from Los Angeles, that had this product that was the best product in the market. So I contact them. I secured the right to use it all over the Middle East. I built a small team, trained them properly, and then I went through the, let's say, specific industries from architectural to solar energy, automotive, where of course is not just the performance aesthetically of the glass, but also financially that makes sense.
That's really interesting. Was there a certain procedure that you implemented to gain rights from Diamond Fusion? Like, what did you do to get these licenses to use their products?
First of all, I introduced myself to the owner of the company. I explained to them that I live in the Middle East, specifically in Dubai, but also all the region like Riyadh and also the GCC, and where the building construction is very, very a growing market. And all this nanotechnology implemented in a high-rise building is something that had a huge added value. So after a couple of meetings and discuss about what was the potential of the region, we came across an agreement to develop this market together with, of course, exclusivity for represent this brand.
Wow, okay. Now, how did you build trust with clients when you were still new as a company?
So the trust with the clients, I would say, is not just to show them the technical documentation, the certification, the result, but you need to show clearly. You have to do a demonstration. You go in front of them, you show how it works. You treat one glass, you don't treat the neighbor glass, and then you can show to him and to them how it works when it's treated and when it's not treated with the nano application. So for, let's say, for demonstration live is what I can gain the trust of the people, of the clients, actually.
Okay, so like you said, Diamond Fusion is one of the better, more premium technologies in the market. And I've done some research before this interview. I also learned that it's quite an expensive method compared to standard alternatives. Now, some entrepreneurs, they like to take the path of supplying higher quality services for greater prices, like you have done here. And other producers, they like to sell average products for lower prices. And they take this decision based on many different factors. So, could you please share what made you come to the decision of supplying these better and more expensive coating services?
Yeah, actually, for me, that was clear from the beginning. I mean, if you compare yourself on the price, if you compete on the price, you're always like one cheaper competitor away from losing a client, then a second client, then a third client. But if you compete on a result, is what really matter for your end user, your client. So they can have some measurable difference in terms of services, in terms of marketing that you are going to give it to them. So with Diamond Fusion, I discovered that the quality is really different compared to all the other competitor. In fact, this is paying off during all this year. Because it lasts significantly longer than the normal standard coating. And then after 5 years, you show to the client the result, they understand that they can save a lot of money in maintenance, and the higher, let's say, upfront price that they pay stop to be actually an objection, and the value is just clear for all of them.
Okay, now going back to the journey of Alma Globe, once you got your company established into the market, what were some actions and strategies you implemented to grow your audience and make more sales?
Yes, in that case, I can say we were not looking in a lot of direction, but we were just focused in 2 or 3 directions. For instance, in the construction, in the high-rise building, we tried to get a very good relationship with the project manager. And the project manager can also change the company, but in a way they will stay with you, because if you show that your product is good, your services, your after sales, of course, when they change and they go to another company, they can still call you and promote your product and your service to another company. So initially we were focused on the project manager and in the construction field, let's say. And then, of course, you need to educate the market. So you have to produce a case study, technical guideline. This can help also the architect and the engineer to understand how to protect the glass. It what means to have not, let's say, a naked glass, but a protected glass with the proper nanotechnology on it, where it can be easy to clean, where they can save money for the cleaning and more environmental because they can reduce the water and the chemicals, is 10 times more resistant than the normal glass. So all of these are the key factor.
Now, you had said educating the market about these different features. So, were there certain measures you took to effectively educate the market and get the word of these different aspects across?
Well, yes, we do a lot of demonstration. So actually, the glass is made by Pick and Valley. So what we demonstrate that with our nanotechnology, we create this field, this layer that avoid the dust, the dirtiness to enter in this Pick and Valley of the glass, and the water is going to not stick on the glass. So all of this you need to not just explain, but you need to demonstrate. So when you go to them and you prove in a glass that is really something that it works, then the client is happy, can touch with his hand and see the difference between a normal glass and a treated glass.
Okay, yeah, that sounds really interesting. I think this demonstration concept seems really important because one, you can build trust with clients and you can also educate the market and grow your audience. Now, was there a particular turning point or a specific deal that significantly accelerated your growth when you were developing your company?
Yes, there was some big project, some major commercial real estate project, one in the Palm, that of course is a sort of business card for us. That was in terms of a lot of square meter that we treat. But there was also another project that was very famous, is Museum of the Future, where we apply our nanotechnology there, and you can imagine in order to be on one of the most iconic building in the world, you need to pass a lot of tests, a lot of a demonstration and so on. And it's one of the things that we are proud of to say that our Diamond Fusion is applied on the Museum of the Futures.
Wow, yeah, that seems like a really big achievement. Now, obviously, this would have contributed to your growth by the Museum of the Future paying you some large funds for this. But do you think this also helped get the word of your company across to other consumers? So maybe just some other homeowners and all. Do you think by presenting your work at these more famous landmarks, your company was just promoted in general?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. This project opened for us a lot of doors in the following months, and this also pushed to scale our operation faster than what we planned. So, and this is reduced the time that we were thinking on our growing. So, yes, definitely.
Would you also recommend other entrepreneurs in other industries in general to take upon these opportunities where they can partner up with these really large brands? Like, do you think in general, just partnering with these large brands would definitely boost your growth by getting more attention from more consumers?
Yes, if they have the capability to represent such important and big brand, yes, of course, why not? Of course, the biggest product comes with the bigger, let's say, risk or headache in terms of managing the all the chain. But when you have a very good product in your hand and you know that you can develop all the full entire region with this product, of course, you should go full in and try to make as much application you can because it's also something that you can be proud at the end to have select a very nice product for a big company and grow your own company together in a partnership with such a multinational.
Now, looking back when you were creating and developing your company, what were some of the problems and difficulties you had, and how did you combat these issues?
Well, as I said before, the biggest challenge has been to educate the people for something that, let's say, this service category doesn't exist before. So until 10 years ago, when you talk about nanotechnology, it's not something that all the people knows what was, and especially what is the achievement that they can have if they apply the nanotechnology on their glass. So that was one of the difficulties. So the educate the market, let's say. And then, well, of course, the cash flow is something that is always something to take in consideration for any entrepreneur in the Middle East. So initially, we were paid at the end of the project. After that, we understand that for also our cash flow, we should switch it to the milestone-based payment. So we pay by step and not at the end of the project. So that's another things that not difficult is a problem, but to always take in consideration to have a financial stability.
Okay, I understand that the market of protective glass coating is highly competitive. So, what are Alma Globe's unique selling points that help you differentiate yourself and attract more customers?
Well, the first, that Diamond Fusion is a patented and independently certified. So we don't need to, let's say, try to sell something and create or invent something to differentiate ourselves by the competitor because it's a nanotechnology that is already patented. It's in more than 30 years on the market, works all around the world. So that the first things that this Diamond Fusion differentiate us from the other competitor. Then our expertise, of course, it's very important to have some good skills to present and represent the company and the product, for sure. And we can link this one with our consultancy approach, let's say. So we don't just show up, apply the coating and sell the product, but we try to understand, to assess which type of glass the client have, what is the environment, the habits of the client in terms of maintenance, and then we can recommend to him the right solution. So sometimes the client receive some let's say, advice or comment from us that was not expected. So he appreciated it, and of course, is they know that we are focused on the right outcome of our conversation to suggest the better nano application for them. So it's not just a closing a sales, let's say, but it's more to be a consultant for them for the right solution.
Okay, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And again, this is something I've learned through other interviews as well, where people mention that just really creating positive interactions and relationships with the consumer is extremely important for them to be retained with your services and again, just spread the word to grow your business. So thank you for that. And what are some of the measures you take to implement effective after-sales service? I've heard this is really important. And how important have you found this to be in retaining customers?
Oh, it's super important. It's probably more important than just sales, the for sales, because when you just sales is one shot, but then no, you need to have a very, very good after sales service. It's something that I really care a lot. And I know that a lot of other companies, let's say, drop the ball on this point. No, no, no. You always need to stay after the client, show that you care about him. You need to give, for instance, in our case, you have to give some guidelines. You need to let them understand that they need to do a proper maintenance because, of course, we can do a great application, but if they don't do a proper maintenance, you can underperform all the rest. So it's something that, of course, it's very important, as you said, also the after sales service. And for the bigger client, let's say, we offer normally some scheduled inspection visit to check that is all okay, that the nanotechnology is still working. So let's say we are investing in the long-term result, and you always need to come back to the client and show that you care about him and his project. And to be honest, a lot of the time, this bring you to receive another lead for a new work with them or someone that they know because they can refer to their friends or that, of course, they are working with a good company that they care about them on after sales service.
Okay, yeah, I really agree with that. I've heard this everywhere, just maintaining great relationships with the customer. It's all about the guest and the user. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, what habits of yours do you feel have contributed most to your success?
Okay, well, I personally very focus on my priority. I strict on my priority, and my priority are the one that all the entrepreneurs should do, not only to run the company but also building the key relationships. So dedicated time to the proper network and the proper partner and so on. So you need to develop the relationship with the client, but also with your team, not only with the client. So you need to see also where the market is going, but the most important thing is the network, to understand, to talk. So this is what I think is the most important habits that an entrepreneur should have. And of course, you also need to learn, to be curious about not only your industry, but is in general. And then most probably the most difficult things, as entrepreneur, all the entrepreneur thinks to be the one that they can make big things. Their ego sometimes became very, very high. And it's important to understand if you commit some mistake, to realize that you committed a mistake. Maybe something is working, something is not working. And based on what is not working, you need to be humble to realize that you need to change some direction. And this is something that I try to work as my habits to to develop, to grow, and to be always a better person as myself, as a person, as a human being, but also as an entrepreneur.
That's great. What are some of your future plans to expand Alma Globe?
Well, as a future plans, one of the sector that we would like to enter and pushing is a large scales, is the solar energy. We saw that the performance data that we have for the solar panel is really, really strong. And of course, there are a lot of big projects, and the market of the solar is growing so fast. So we would like to enter more in details and try to, let's say, conquer this market. Another future plan is to go in India to also try to conquer, let's say, the Indian market. As of now, we are very focused on the GCC, so UAE, Qatar, Saudi, Kuwait, but also India is a market that we have the radar on, and we already start to have a different clients that are asking us to go there, and we already went a couple of times to check what will be the future partner that we can have to work in India. Yes.
Okay, now lastly, what would be one final piece of entrepreneurial advice that you would like to share with the listeners?
Okay. For this question is a very nice question. I would say the first most important part, the entrepreneur needs to be prepared, needs to be educated, needs to know what he's talking about, needs to know what is the company that he wants to lead, to develop, to let them grow. And if you're not prepared and you don't have the right skills, of course, you cannot be a successful entrepreneur. So the preparation, the study, it's the very, very important part. Then, when you start your company, of course, you don't need to think that you can do all by yourself. But the most important part, the most important skill is try to select the right people close to you. That should be in terms of your partner or your employee, the collaborator, the people that you work with. Because if you go by yourself, you can go fast, but you're just one. If you have a good team, you can trust the team, and so on, and you can delegate, then you can bring all your company to another level. So the two big, let's say, as you said, the advice is be prepared and select the right people to work with.
Okay, were there certain measures you took to ensure that the people you're selecting were correct and the right fit to help your company grow?
Yes, each week I'm doing some weekly meeting with my team, and then once per month I do individual meetings to understand if all is okay, if there is some issue that we can sort it out together, if there is some improvement that we can do together, or if we reach the milestone. So a constant feedback with the team is the most important part to, as I said, to develop the company.
Okay, great. That's all for today. Thank you so much, Mr. Alessandro, for being here and sharing your experiences.
Thanks to you, and thank you for the invitation to your podcast.
Of course. To all the listeners, I post frequently, so stay in the loop to learn new things that develop your business understanding. And for now, the CEO Corner is closed.